Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Not Breaking Dawn, Chatterbox. How you all doing, guys? Thank you so much. There we go. Breaking Dawn's tomorrow. Guys, how you all doing? I'm very well, thank you. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. Great start, but here we go, guys. Bryan Mbeumo will be a Manchester United player. The bid has been accepted from Brentford, and he will be a Manchester United player come next season, guys. There you go. We said it here first on Stretford Post. Of course, when the deal was agreed, Brentford had already laid out the foundations of the deal and said how much they want for him. And Man United have come up trumps with the money, and he will be a Manchester United player. The Brentford man will be a Manchester United player next season. Great news for Manchester United. The second signing of the preseason, of course. Do we need more? Of course we need more, but this is good. We can move on now. Hopefully it'll be here we go very soon in regards to Fabrizio Romano, and it will be a Ornstein bomber very soon, guys. Very, very soon. I told you, it has dragged on. Of course it's dragging on. But Man United are waiting for the fiscal year. They're waiting for financial year on the 1st of July. So this is going to drag on even more anyway. We're not going to have the player officially in the club until the 1st of July anyway. But Mbeumo is a Manchester United player, will be a Man United player. 99.9% sure he will be a Manchester United player. He's always had his heart on Manchester United. He's always wanted to go to Manchester United. Manchester United is the club for him. And he will be earning around 150 grand a week in a 5-year contract, which is, you know what? It isn't what people were saying. There were obviously rumors about 200 grand a week, 300 grand a week, all that nonsense. But great news, of course, coming out of Old Trafford today, which is Bryan Mbeumo bid accepted. And Man United should be able to wrap up this deal very, very soon. We are already arranging the necessities for the medical as well. Bryan Mbeumo will be doing his medical at Manchester United in view of signing for the club. Of course, guys, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about Bryan Mbeumo signing for Manchester United? It's a good move. It's an attacking move. Cunha and Mbeumo is going to be the number 10s next season. I think that looks pretty tasty, don't you, guys? Absolutely, guys. So, guys, looking forward to hearing your opinions, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. What are you all saying? Are you happy? Are you sad? What's going on? Big up, Tybog. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you. Very important signing, Mbeumo. Not let's get a proper striker. Yeah, absolutely. We need to get a proper striker now. It's all about getting a striker to complement Cunha and Mbeumo. Now we got Mbeumo through the door, added to Cunha. I mean, you know what? If we get a good striker in there, you can only imagine how potent our front line will be. And you know what? It depends what striker we get. And I'm going to get into the striker very, very shortly. But if we get a good, decent striker in there to play in front of Mbeumo and Cunha, I just can see that being an absolute underrated trio in Europe. I think it'd be one of the most underrated trios in Europe, probably one of the best trios in Europe. It'd be absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to see it. Absolutely. Big up, Grayo. What's going on, my friend? Sal, afternoon, brother. Hope you're doing well. Excellent news on brother. Hopefully more signings to come. Yep, Ineos finally pulling their fingers out now. We need Cashford, Sancho, and Garnacho gone now. Absolutely. Big up, Grayo. How you doing? Let me get back to some of these. Guys, absolutely. Let's get back to it. Big up, John O'Connell. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Look, sounds to me it's a done deal. I told you guys a long time ago, my friend, it is going to be a done deal. I told you it was a done deal. Brentford gave the money. They said Brentford had already declared how much they want from the deal. Man United have offered that deal. This is what's happened. And when I said last week that Man United had talks with Brentford and the talks went well, this is precisely what it is. They told Man United that we want this much. Man United have maybe made a few tweaks to that deal, but it's good enough and it will be accepted. It is accepted. Of course, Mark, how you doing? At this point in time, I would really go and accept Vlahovic. I really go and accept Vlahovic, seeing that we can't get a striker, but include Riaz in the deal too. Wow. I mean, no. If we got Douglas Luiz and we got obviously Vlahovic, would be an incredible deal. If we managed to get rid of Sancho and we got those two through the door, but obviously Douglas Luiz is his own entity, and so is Vlahovic, and they're both valuable assets for Juventus. The thing with Juventus is that they cannot afford the wages. They are spending 300 grand on Douglas Luiz, I think, something around that, and Vlahovic for about that. Vlahovic is getting 350 grand a week, apparently, something along those lines, which is absolutely incredible. It's crazy when you think about it. Absolutely. Prince, what's going on, my friend? And Brahma is already. I just can't wait to see him balling. Absolutely, me too. Cornish, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. If we get Vlahovic in, I think we ought to take Goncalo Ramos on loan. You know what? That's one of the names I haven't heard in a minute. Yeah, look, I would like Gonzalo Ramos. Man United is still interested in Gonzalo Ramos. I would prefer that deal, to be honest with you. I think it's a very good deal. A lot of people are slating him because he didn't do that well at PSG. But obviously, he had the personal details going on there. Guys who know what happened with Mr. Gonzalo Ramos at PSG, and it wasn't very pretty, of course. So those who know, it wasn't very pretty. But yeah, I like the player anyway. On the footballing side of things, I like the player, and I wouldn't mind him playing for Manchester United. And I'm sure he wouldn't mind playing for Man United either. And, we all know that he wanted to come to Man United before, but, we couldn't get that deal done. But guys, Bryan Mbeumo is a Manchester United player. Almost. The deal between the two clubs looks to have been approved, and Man United have got the all clear to do the medical for Bryan Mbeumo. Bryan Mbeumo should be, barring something miraculous, be a Manchester United player next season. How does that sound? Bryan Mbeumo and Cunha playing for Manchester United next season. How lovely does that sound? Bryan Mbeumo only wanted Manchester United. He didn't want Tottenham. He wanted Manchester United. 20 goals last season from an attacking right position, guys. So at the end of the day, what a player we got on our hands. We've beaten 3 teams for the signing of Bryan Mbeumo. And obviously, Wilcox is getting the accolades. But he only wanted Manchester United. And as I said on Stretford Post a few times over this last couple of weeks, the deal is done. The deal is done. It's done. Brentford and Man United had positive talks, and Brentford gave Manchester United a quote of how much they would like for Mbeumo. Man United have come back with an offer, and it has been improved. So there you go, guys. Absolutely great news. Of course, let's have a look at some of these. Ben Jacobs and Mbeumo is waiting for permission to do his better. He wants for this to be over so bad. Look, this is what I love about Bryan Mbeumo deal, Jarlin, because he really wants to play for this football club. He really wants to play for Manchester United. This is what I like. I like players who want to play for that badge. I really do. I like players who don't care about anything else. They just want to play for this football club, and that is what it's all about. These are the players that we want. We were talking earlier about Jasari, and Jasari wanting to go to AC Milan, and you know what, doesn't really, it's not really feeling Manchester United. That we don't need any of that at this football club. We need players who want to play for this football club. Not adamantly not wanting to play for the football club, and we have to bribe them basically to play for the football club. We don't want that. We want players like Mbeumo, like Cunha, who are delighted to be at this football club as well. Yali, Vlahovic, I'm taking him. You know what? I'm taking him. He has been playing in a really bad Juventus team for years now. Give a few creative players behind him, and we're a good striker there. Look, you've got Mbeumo and Cunha behind him. What better? Two to play? You know what I mean? And then we got Bruno behind that. You know what I mean? We're going to have a much better lineup next season. I'm pretty sure Yale, Man United are going to be strong next season in regards to the creative side. You're going to see a huge difference in regards to goals next season. I can feel it. You know what I mean? We're going to be here on these watch-alongs, and we're going to be seeing some goals. Finally, we're going to be seeing some goals, which is going to be lovely, isn't it? You know what I mean? Because we were deprived of goals. We've been actually starved of goals for the last 2 years, haven't we? Minus goal difference and all that malarkey and stuff like that. Big up, Bill. What's going on, Bill? Evening, Bill. How you doing, my friend? Thank you so much, my guy. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Absolutely. Good evening, Sal. Where are the haters who said that the salary was 250 grand? There you go, Ephraim. That's what I'm talking about. The haters will hate. 150 grand. There you go. Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. Absolutely. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, people saying all sorts of numbers. I even heard 300 grand not long ago as well. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Anything to downplay a Manchester United signing, isn't it? Where are the Newcastle fans, eh? He rejected Newcastle, right? He rejected Newcastle. Where are the Newcastle fans on this 300,000 a week sort of malarkey that they were saying? Absolute nonsense. Big up, Mbeumo. Slow FC, Ineos and Glazers out. Stephen, one thing I would say, guys, and I will say this very, very clear, right? At the end of the day, look, we are slow. We are slow, but Man United have notoriously never done deals in June. I would urge you to look that up. Man United, I think we've done 1 or 2 deals in June in history. We haven't really done deals in June. We are literally moving like a business. Look, at the end of the day, as long as we get the players in, As long as we get those players that we need in, and I'm not talking about just Mbeumo and Cunha, I'm talking about, other players on the midfield and right wing and the goalkeeper and the striker. I'm talking about that as well. We need to get the players in those positions in as well. Only then will I judge Ineos and say, look, you know what? They done well. Well, if they don't get the majority of the deals done, then you know what? Then I'm going to be on the same energy as I've always been. I'm not going to flip-flop from that. But what I would say is that the preseason starts on the 7th of July in regards to training. The first game in preseason is on the 19th of July against Leeds United. Are we going to get all those deals done? Absolutely not. We're not. We're going to have Mbeumo. We might have one more player by the 19th. I don't know. But it does look like a lot of the transfers are going to be dragging out to August around that time, as we've always done in the past. As we know that Man United notoriously sign players in August, end of July, August, around that time. That is when we usually do things. But obviously, Man United are in a different position at the moment because obviously where we finished last season, and obviously we need about 10 players out. We've already got Lindelof, Eriksen, of course, Evans at the football club already. So that's 3 right there. We need a lot more at the football club, and we need to bring in, obviously, more players. It does look like Jadon Sancho is a wanted man. I never thought I would say that in my life, but he is a wanted man. Juventus are throwing out all the stops and are pushing hard for Jadon Sancho to sign for them. Now, guys, what can we do about this? We can do 2 things, guys. We can ask for money, or we can say to Juventus, right, you're offering Vlahovic, right? Get us Vlahovic through the door, or get Douglas Luiz through the door, or whoever you want to organize or you want to arrange to get a swap deal for. If Man United have got Sancho, right, Juventus are going to want to save money. So at the end of the day, let's try and work something out. Let's work it out. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can bring in a player from their team, into our team and bring in Sancho. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone, as I said yesterday. It's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And Vlahovic is a very good player. I would take Vlahovic for me, absolutely, because I know about the midfield at Man United is, it's a bit chock-a-block in regards to Bruno. How is the Mbeumo deal? Big up. It's almost done, my friend. It's almost done. Bill, what's going on? What that work? Would that work with Mbeumo, Cunha, and Vlahovic, or would it get to another backup striker if we do swap Sancho for Vlahovic? Would that work, or would like to get another backup striker if we do swap Sancho? Look, a lot of people are saying that we should give Rasmus Højlund a chance. Maybe we should give Rasmus Højlund a chance. I've been hearing this quite a lot over this last week or so. Give Rasmus Højlund a chance. Give him a chance. And I don't know. How's he going to play behind Mbeumo and Cunha? How's he going to do that? Do you know what I mean? At the end there, I don't know, to be honest with you. But I like Chido Obi Martin. I do believe that Chido Obi Martin needs chances as well. I think he's a highly talented player. Watching him on that Hong Kong tour when he went to Hong Kong and he just touched that ball down on the sixpence and bent it in the corner. That's the sort of striker we needed. I do believe that Man United should get start playing Chido Martin, giving him more chances, and along with an experienced striker like a Vlahovic, like a Mateta, like an Osimhen. But that, the Osimhen deal on that, these deals are too difficult to do. We'll be here all day talking about the Osimhen deal and how long it's going to take as well. We need a striker who wants to play for this football club, generally wants to play for this football club, and is willing to give his heart for the cause. Absolutely, Bill. Big up, Bill. Big up, Uchichi. Hope you're doing well. If we buy good strikers, I think we can finish top 4. I think we can. I think this. Look, one thing I would say is that I think there's going to be some surprises next season. Ephraim, I think Man United will surprise a lot of people next season, and we're going to annoy a lot of people as well because a lot of people don't want us to succeed. Let's not pretend, guys, because I'm a very honest guy. If Arsenal, right, sign Cunha and Mbeumo, I'd be like, wow, they're going to be quite tough next season. Arsenal sign Cunha and Mbeumo. Wouldn't you think so? If they did that. If they did that, I'd be like, wow, look, they've signed Cunha and Mbeumo. I'd be praising that deal. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna say this: like, our attack next season looks pretty scary, but not for us, for them. And that's what I would say about that. So Man United getting in Cunha and Mbeumo through the deal was the icing on the cake. But now we need the striker. If we get the striker, goodness me, it's going to be dangerous. And a midfielder and a goalkeeper, which is a goalkeeper is a very, very important, guys. Highly underrated how much we need a goalkeeper as well, because we can't be having this a magnificent attack and then having a poor goalkeeper. Do you know what I mean? Because it just defeats the point. A poor goalkeeper can suck the energy out of a team, can actually have a detrimental effect on the team as well in regards to confidence and things like that. Of course, Tybo, Ahmad, Bruno, Cunha, and Mbeumo, a great striker. That forward line looks scary and commonly different to what we have had. Absolutely. I think that Bruno, Cunha, and Mbeumo will unlock a lot of the players in our team as well. Because obviously we haven't had a really settled forward line. It's been very mismatched. We look void of ideas, like we're sort of winging it sometimes. And, now it's going to be Cunha and Mbeumo. That's it. Those are the two number 10s. And then we have a striker, you know what I mean? And that's it. You know what I mean? There you go. And then obviously we've got the likes of obviously Bruno and Ahmad in the squad as well. So, it's looking tasty. It's looking tasty. I just really hope that it works. I really do, because it sounds really nice and it feels really good having these great players at our football club again, And let's hope that we can move on, of course. Let's hope. Big up LT, how you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Big up Sal, I'm happy with the signing. And if we can get a top striker before the preseason, then I'll be ecstatic. But if we can go to the outgoing of Sancho, Rashford, Garner, and Anthony, then perfect. Yeah, it is looking pretty positive in regards to the outgoings as well, in regards to Sancho. But obviously Rashford, there is a talk about a loan to Barcelona, which is not good enough for Man United, of course, unless Barcelona could do a deal with a small fee and a loan and paying these wages. That would be nice, wouldn't it, at the end of the day? But I cannot believe that Barcelona would want Rashford, having almost acquired Nico Williams, of course, as well, and have added to Pedri, Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, Rafinha. They've got quite a lot of attacking prowesses in that team. So where would Marcus Rashford fit in that team? I really don't know. Someone tell me, Big up, Jim. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hi, Sal. Everyone glad to hear Mbeumo is a United player. Very, very soon, guys. It will be here. We go very soon. I'm keeping an eye on Fabrizio. I'm keeping an eye on Ornstein to get the here we go and the Ornstein bomber, of course. But as I said on Stretford Post, I won't get the credit on Stretford Post, and I don't look for credit on Stretford Post. All I do is I call the truth. And that's what I try to do all the time, guys. Absolutely. And I'm delighted. I'm delighted it's through the door, because all it matters in this football hemisphere is, Manchester United at the end of the day. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there with huge egos. I want to be the first. I want to do this. I want to do that. For me, it's all about the football club and how well the football club do. And I just want the truth. And I don't want to give false pretenses and things like that, I'm excited about the Mbeumo deal. I'm excited about the Cunha deal. Absolutely ecstatic about it. And you know what? We move at the end of the day. Sal, do you think it's affecting your career decision because we want first the lap? No, Ephraim. I don't think it's affected him at all. The only thing that's affected your carers is Champions League football. If there's going to be a decision for your carers in regards to which football club he's going to go to next, it will be a football club in the Champions League. But that could change. If Arsenal don't manage to put out a bid for your carers, then Manchester United could be in line for a bid for your carers. But at the moment, Man United need to sell a couple of players, of course, to get some money back in so we can reinvest it, of course. And if we can reinvest it, into a striker, and then we can move on, guys. Absolutely. If we can get our deals done sharply and effectively, that would be fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Big up, Kenny. Mbeumo only want Man United. That's the good thing about it, Kenny. The good thing about Mbeumo is that he only wanted Manchester United and he rejected Totspur. He rejected Totspur, guys. He did, and I do think it is a cue for that. I do think it is.
Do you know Tottenham? What? Tottenham Hotspur?
Topspur?
No.
What's that?
you never heard of them?
No.
There we go, guys. You got to laugh, innit? You got to laugh. You got to rub it in when you can, because we suffered this last few weeks, haven't we, after the Europa League final? It's been awful after the Europa League final. We have suffered a little bit. So it's good to have a little bit of a laugh in it and a giggle at the expense of Tottenham. Of course, guys, absolutely. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Yale, Sesko to Arsenal looks to be a thing now. Not sure if he will go back for your carers. If Arsenal get Sesko, Yale, I can't see Arsenal going back in for your carers. I really can't. If they get Sesko, I really can't, because I don't think they're going to be spending the money on two strikers. They probably will spend it elsewhere on the pitch. Because and also let me clarify. You're not going to have Sesko, your carers, sitting on the bench, are you? So who they're going to leave out? Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard. I don't think it's going to happen. Absolutely. Big up, Yale. Still Rannick. Honestly, this is good news, and Mbeumo is a plus. Big up, Still Rannick. Thank you so much, my friend, Thank you for joining the stream, my guy. Hope you're having a good time. Yeah, great news, fantastic news. And it's all positives, guys. We can only be happy for what it is at the end of the day. No, we're not going to get too overly zealous. Of course, we shouldn't be, because there is a lot of work to do at Manchester United. As we know, we got a lot of work to do at this football club. We got a lot of signings to bring in. A lot of players need to leave the football club as well. But this is a good start. You know what? But so we should have this player. Look, I'm not sounding snobby. I'm not sounding arrogant. But Man United should be signing these players. We're the biggest club in England, one of the biggest clubs in the world. We should have the best players. And this is what should be happening at this football club. You know what? And now, next, please. Next, please. Next, please. We need a new team, basically. That's what Man United need. And hopefully we're in the midst of building a new team, of course. Last season was awful. And you know what? None of those players should be let off lightly. None of those players deserve to be outspoken in regards to their future at Man United, because they were all part of that shit show, weren't they, last season? Big up Danny B. What's going on? Absolutely. And remind me of Danny B. Yeah, Wesley Franca has had a bid of 20 million. Wesley Franca, of course, we've been speaking about Wesley Franca, Brazilian international, on this show, guys. Right wing back, right midfield, fantastic player. Looks like he could be going to Brentford and Hove Albion in a 20 million deal. Guys, this player is the truth, and Man United should be all over this type of player. Young, hungry to succeed. You know, but getting a player like that will fit our system to a T. Wesley Franca, 20 million. Man United do have him on their radar, but we have not made an offer for him. So Brentford have gone in for an offer for Wesley Franca, of course, guys. So you know what we say about that. Hopefully we make a move, because this guy is good and we need a right wing back, guys. At the moment, we've only got Dallo at the moment as an official right wing back, guys. So you know what? We should really pull up all the stops for that transfer right there, and we will be killing. We'll be absolutely killing it if we get him, because he will be going to another football club in the Premier League for 50, 60 million in a couple of years. You mark my words, guys. Absolutely. Watch. Go Lazio. Absolutely. Big up, my friend Kenny. Big up. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Let me see what's going on here. Let me have a look. So nothing at the moment in regards to that. Big up, everyone. Big up, Kenny. Grayo, sing the song, the tune of Copacabana at the Copacabana. Brian and Mbeumo. He scores with the right, he scores with the left. The Brian Mbeumo. I don't know if I got it right there, Grayo. Music everywhere, there's goals everywhere. There's assists everywhere, there's goals everywhere. At the Brian Mbeumo. Go score that goal. Pick up. Esty, is it true Betis had sold one player for 30 million? I hope they'll buy Anthony with that money. Absolutely. It seems like people are very, very, very funny with their money, isn't it? At the end of the day, they have money, but they don't want to spend money. In particular, players that want to go for their football club and done things for their football club, they should spend that money on Anthony. I think Anthony will eventually go. I've got a feeling he'll eventually go to Betis. I think by hook or by crook, he will go to Betis and he will play for Betis next season. I think he loves the place. He loves Andalusia. Andalusia is a nice place, of course. I think he will end up playing for Betis next season, in my opinion. But you know what? Anything can happen there. We can't bow down to Anthony. But you know what? Fair play to Anthony. He went out last season. He went on loan and he did absolutely fantastic. So we have to give the credit where it is due, of course. Grayo. Forest turned down 46 million from Newcastle for Anthony Elanga, yet no club wants to sign Rashford. Shows you how far downhill this spoiled brat has gone. We'll be glad to see the back of him. Absolutely. There you go, guys. Isn't it ironic? Don't you think, Alaris Morissette? It is very ironic that no one wants him. You know, can you imagine the ego of these guys, you know, to be acting the way they've been acting over this last few months and years, in fact, and, you know, no one wants them. They're begging for moves. They're begging. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want to play a back at Manchester United who's been flirting with a rival club. Not a rival, but you know what I mean, like another club, Barcelona. I don't want to play like that who's been flirting with a rival club, disrespecting the badge and stuff. Tyberg, Vlahovic in the swap deal with Sancho would be a dream come true. I would sell Højlund if a proper offer is on the table. Not good enough. Never will be. There you go, Tyberg. Look, I'm edging towards Tyberg's opinion here. I'm edging towards it there. I think Tyberg's absolutely spot on. You know what I mean? I mean, this season's a big season, you know, a massive season. But we saw a lot last season that, in my opinion, I was very concerned about Rasmus. But, you know, some people still believe, of course. Rashford, Sancho, and Garnacho are rotten to the teeth in the month of Man United, and as the saying goes in Africa proverb, until the rotten tooth is uprooted, the mouth must chew its with caution. Guys, that is a good quote there. Until the rotten tooth is uprooted, the mouth must chew with caution. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Before you come on here, guys, on this stream, remember, until the rotten tooth is uprooted, the mouth must chew with caution. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely, guys. Big up. Still Rannick, my friend. Good to see you, mate. Good comments. Kazi, Konasechi, or Costa, for me, is more experience. The one thing I would say, Kazi, about Costa is that I'm a little bit concerned. And the reason I'm concerned is that I'm not, look, some people may call me fickle, whatever you want. But I watched the game Man United 3, Porto 3. I've also watched Porto in the World Cup Championship. I don't know if he's really been playing, but you know what? I've been watching that as well. And I'm a little bit concerned by his mistakes. He does make some mistakes there. But what I would say is that if it's between Konasechi or Costa, we have to go with the experienced option. We have to go because obviously Konasechi is going to be a risk. It's going to represent a risk, isn't it? Costa wouldn't be. And obviously Costa playing along with Ruben Amorim, you know, would be more better, I think, in my opinion. But Costa will cost money. Costa a lot of money, absolutely. You know what I mean? 2 more stamps and you get a free Costa. That's when Costa gets sent off, by the way. 2 more stamps and you get a free coffee. There you go. Big up. Jim. Rashford, Sancho, and Onana. How do we have 3 players with delusional grandeur? How are they so delusional? You know what it is, Jim? I'll be honest with you, mate. When you give idiots a lot of money, when you make fools rich, they actually believe they're hype because they every single day they're staying at these 5-star hotels. Every single person is kissing their backside every single day. So they start to think, actually, maybe I am good. Yeah, maybe I am good. Do you know what I mean? And then people start saying, yeah, you earned it, bruv. You earned it. You earned where you are today. You deserve to be where you are today. Imagine this, every single day, someone is in the ear of Rashford talking like that, and I guarantee it'll be something along those lines. You deserve this, Rashford. You deserve better. Look what you've done. Look what you've done. You know what I mean? Look at that goal in Paris. Look at that. Blah, blah, blah. You know, it's good. You know, there you go. That's why they got so much ego, of course. LT, Sancho and Anthony seem close in terms of outgoings, and more Forest can get the Elanga, then the better because of the sell clause. But as for Posta, Rob Boys, Rashford and Ghana, it's going to take a bit more time. I think it's going to take a bit more time. I think Garnacho will go. I think Garnacho will go, but not for 70 million. I don't think anyone's going to pay 70 million from him. His price tag has severely been infected. Not that he's not worth it, but I think that it has been basically slandered because obviously the way he's been acting this last few weeks in public, which is very, very stupid of him, of course. Teddy, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. What's going on, my friend? How are you doing? Good to see you back, mate. Hope you're well. So when we get in here, we go and the other targets. Look, well, the next one's going to be Mbeumo, and Mbeumo is anytime now. Anytime now will be Mbeumo to Manchester United. Here we go. I'm telling you right now, it could be tonight. Could be tomorrow. It might be. It's imminent, guys. It is imminent, as I've been saying for a long time now, but it is imminent, and hopefully we get that deal through the door, of course, very, very soon, of course, guys. That is what I am looking forward to, you know, because then we can move on to the next player, of course. Absolutely. We can move on to the next player and, fix our team. What's Elanga's sell-on clause? About 45 million. They rejected 45 million. Not in the Forest. No, so we can't sell Garnacho for less than 45. If Newcastle are bidding 45 for Elanga and not in Forest have rejected 45, no, we need to get 55 for Garnacho at least, man. At least 50 for Garnacho. Big up everyone. Big up everyone. Hope you're all doing well, of course. Jasari Abdes Milan is getting a baller. Yeah, look, Danny B. Jasari's another one. Another one bites the dust, Danny B. Another one bites the dust. Jasari doesn't want to sign for Manchester United, just Danny B. So this is very important, of course. Like, we may admire a player, we may like a player, we may think a player would be perfect for us, but it's always going to be down to them, isn't it, at the end of the day? Apparently, he's an AC Milan fan from a young age. So it's always going to be down to them. Unfortunately, we're going to miss the boat with that one. He's adamant that he doesn't want to play for Manchester United. He wants to go to Milan. He has no interest in going to Manchester United whatsoever, even though Man United are trying to hijack that deal, and they have been trying to inquire to hijack that deal, but it doesn't look like he's going to AC Milan, guys. What's this little interesting? In August, there will be a review between the Glazers and Jim. Rosie and Jim. Yeah, no, definitely. Jim will want ownership. Could we wipe out the transfer debt with 5% more of the club and get... I can't see Jim Ratcliffe doing it, mate. He said 2026, didn't he? I can't see Jim Ratcliffe doing it. If he does it, then fair play. If he clears the debt, then fair play. But I can't see Jim Ratcliffe doing it. I really can't. I think that, he's too balls deep in regards to the Glazers. And I just don't think that they're going to part ways. And one of the reasons they're not going to part ways is the regeneration project. Of course, in 2017, the Glazers sent a letter to the Manchester Council and talking about the regeneration project, of course, in Manchester. And the Glazers are not going anywhere because that sees them earning a lot of money. It's all about this regeneration project. If this regeneration project gets rejected, then you know what? Then the Glazers could be out the door. And not only that, Jim might think about selling his shares as well. Sal, we are also swarming around Franco Sal City. Yeah. I mean, but we've been after him for a very long time, and this is what it is, Danny B. This is what it is. And the one who put an offer on the table is Brighton at the moment. They've put a 20 euro offer on the table, so they are the most forthright in regards to Franco. Of course, guys, Franco, not Franco Manca, it's a pizza place. Franco Wesley, of course. But will Man United make an offer? Will Man United make a cheeky offer? You know what I mean? Can we do that? If we get him through the door, that's the right wing sorted out. Would we do that? You know what I mean? The problem is that we have this infatuation with Diego Dallo, and Diego Dallo can't be dropped, and stuff like that. Plays almost every game. That's the problem, And we do need another right winger. Do you think we will sign Diego Costa? Can I say, Conrad? It's going to be difficult for Man United to bring in a new goalkeeper over the summer. Anything could change over the next couple of weeks, but I would predict that we are not going to get a goalkeeper this summer. I would predict that, but doesn't mean it's true. I just feel like Man United have got so much work to do that they're going to be concentrating on the striker. Maybe we might squeeze a deal for a goalkeeper within August, but obviously Costa costs a lot of money. Costa a lot of money, doesn't he? Absolutely. So, look, it's going to be difficult. We have to sell to buy. Now, once we get a striker and then Mbeumo, we definitely have to sell to buy to start putting that PPL, PPR, PPS, absolutely, PRS, whatever it is, FFP, up to scratch, of course. Big up, Conrad, my friend. Smash the like and subscribe. Big up, Ephraim. Big up, everyone. Striker next to man. Let's go. Big up, Pearl. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Marino Fenerbahce is also after Sancho and is already Fred and Amrabat who play with Sancho. This is the big thing. This could be the enticing thing for Sancho. But the problem is with Fenerbahce is that Fenerbahce have nothing to offer. Look, Fenerbahce, right? They won't pay that wages for Sancho. So it's really up to Sancho if Sancho wants to go to Turkey. But Juve, however, are willing to pay him the money. If they can offload Douglas Luiz and Vlahovic, then they're willing to give Sancho what he wants. Although they're only willing to pay about 12.5 million for Sancho, which is not enough. We need more than that. Of course, we got 5 million for Sancho from Chelsea, but it went down to about 4 million because obviously we had to give some money for the Mount transfer, didn't we? Dear. Crazy, isn't it? Yale, Real Betis has gone out after a midfield to replace that guy they sold. Absolutely. That's mad, man. They need to get Anthony, man. Big up, Graham. No problem. Only 27 likes, guys. Can we move it up to 50 likes? Only 13 likes. 41 of you in the house. Guys, don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. If you guys could do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. You absolute ledges, of course. Ephraim, who do you choose between Onana or Diego Costa, and what is their difference? One is a competent goalkeeper, the other one is not. One's a bozo, the other one is not. Diego Costa is a recognised goalkeeper, international level, who I'm not saying he's the best goalkeeper. I don't think he is. I think there's many goalkeepers out there who we can get who are better, but he's head and shoulders in a different league to Onana, definitely. But he's not without his flaws, if you know what I mean. Absolutely. Sanjay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Sanjay. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Costa is 70 million. That is expensive for a keeper. It's too much. It's way too much. I think 40 million would get him. Any idea how much we would save on wage bills? We managed to get rid of Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho, Anthony Marcia, Højlund, Dalot, Vladio. It's a whole team there, Grayo. Goodness me. Why not re-sign Kovar Vitek? I know. I don't know why they're not doing it. Vitek we haven't sold him, so he'll be back at Man United in the summer, I believe. We haven't sold him. He was on loan. Kovar, however, we did sell him to Leverkusen, but we do have a buyback option in regards to him. Erik ten Hag's not a fan of Kovar, is he? Erik ten Hag's not a fan of Kovar. He got rid of him at Man United and managed to get Onana. Now he's replaced him with a Brentford goalkeeper at Leverkusen. It just makes me mad. In regards to saving money, my goodness me, you got Garnacho who's on about 200 grand. No, how much is Garnacho on? 100 grand? Then you got Anthony who's on about 200 grand. Then you got Malacia who's on about 50. I think he's about 56, 80 grand. I think he's on. Højlund who's on about 100 grand. Dalot who's on about 100 grand. Onana who's on about 150 grand. By in there, I don't know how much he's on. Probably 5 grand. Big up, Grayo. Big up. Who do you think we can get in midfield? Look, you know what? We've been talking a lot about the midfield over recent times. Of course, Jasari was another one, Arden Jasari, who looks like moving to AC Milan at the moment. In my opinion, if we do get a midfielder in, I've always liked Walton. I think Walton would be fabulous at Man United, especially now. I just don't think Man United are going to work quick enough to get the midfield position sorted. I just don't think they're going to work quick enough at the moment. But it can change in 1 week, guys. Beef Bully. Sal, would you take Vardy? There's like with David too. No, I wouldn't take Vardy. He's too old, mate. He's too old. He's finished, mate. He's not the player that he was 10 years ago. Lost a lot of pace. No way I want Vardy. In regards to David, David's agent was 20 million, so we're not going to be going anywhere near Jonathan David with his mercenary of an agent, of course. That's why no one's going near him. Elenga clause is 25%. Oh, yes, that, Charlie, yeah. Gray, big up. Honestly, Jasari amazing, but they're not going to sell him unless they sell. I think he's going to go for about 50 million. I don't think they're going to sell him for less than that, 50, 55. Honestly, Jasari amazed me with his through pass technique, but trust me, we get to go all out for players who are dying to play for the club. The likes of Cunha and Mbeumo, absolutely still running. That is what it's all about at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. It's about to be, as Ben Jacobs says, good friend of mine said it's going to be very imminent, guys. So if this transfer of Mbeumo, it has to be agreed first. So if this transfer of Mbeumo and Cunha, I will look at the club. I will say the club is cursed. I mean, this one, it has to go through. It definitely must have to go through. Definitely. Juve signed Vlahovic for 80 million and paying 250 a week, and he's only 1 year left on there. This is why they are trying to get something for him. They cannot afford the wages and walks out next year. Absolutely. Ephraim, Sal, if Mbeumo and Cunha transfer did not work, I would say I will. Oh, I think I read that one. Sorry. 2 comments. Absolutely. Dembo, about time, Sal. Let's move on. Striker now, absolutely. Dembo, big up Dembo, absolutely. Douglas Luiz and a striker in. Yeah, that's a tough one, isn't it? And at the end of the day, if we could do a deal with Sancho and bring Douglas Luiz and Vlahovic in, that's killing 2 birds with 1 stone, isn't it? But are we going to pay Vlahovic that amount of wages? This is the thing, isn't it? We are moving away from the mercenary type of wages. This is the problem that we're going to be facing. We're not going to be paying back money for these players anymore, guys. Anything over 40 million for a goalkeeper is ridiculous. This is why it's ridiculous when we signed Onana. Absolutely ridiculous. When we had Kovar, who's a perfectly capable goalkeeper. Sal, do you take Vlahovic if we do not get Gyökeres? Yes. He's not my first choice. I'm not going to lie to you and flip-flop. He's not my first choice. I prefer Mateta, Premier League proven and all that. But I'm not going to be crying in my pillow if we sign Vlahovic. Absolutely not. Well, look, let me tell you something, Kenny. There was rumors that he was on 350 plus with incentives, 350 grand a week. Basic wage is about that, 250 grand a week. But apparently he's on 350 grand a week. But it will go down to 200. Absolutely, Ollie's got it there. So with incentive, it's 350 grand a week with goal bonuses, appearance bonuses, and stuff like that all together. So that it's not just straightforward. But what it is, it's expensive for Man United. Even 200 grand is expensive. Could we do a deal with Garnacho and Osimhen swap deal? No, Dembo, because of the FFP and PSR, you can't really just do swap deals with players who are homegrown, and Osimhen, it will affect the FFP and PSR. What Man United need to do is sell Garnacho and buy Osimhen. That's what needs to happen, to be honest with you guys. Absolutely, that's what needs to happen. But swap deals are always notoriously hard to do. They're very, very difficult to do, especially when two agents are involved and they're both got egos and they both want money, who gets to pay on and who gets a signing on fee and stuff like that. And it is obviously a bit of a mafia, this whole thing, isn't it, with the agents and stuff like that, of course. But there's a lot of rumblings going to be happening over this next few weeks, shall I say. Lots of rumblings, lots of noises, lots of transfer rumors, lots of stuff like that, of course. It is difficult, It's going to be difficult. But you know what? If Man United get the deals done, I'll be happy at the end of the day. I'll be happy. If Man United get the deals done, I want to go into next season against Arsenal in confident spirits. I want to be like, you know what? We got this. It's quite good. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Yeah, you know what I mean? And brilliant. That I'll be like, I can't wait for the season to start. I'm already a little bit excited. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Well done, fan. Well done. Got the Google in front of these guys. I haven't got Google in front of me, by the way. I just talk. You know what I mean? There you go. Guys. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, look, I want to be going into that Arsenal game with in high spirits and being excited. As I said, I'm already excited. Ephraim, Sal, do you think in our squad have higher resale value? Who do you think in our squad has higher resale value? Lenny Yoro has higher resale value at the moment. I would argue Mazrui has higher resale value at the moment. Ahmad has higher resale value at the moment. Well, Bruno technically has higher resale, doesn't he? 100 million, someone was bidding for him. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So, yeah, there's quite a few. Dorgu probably has higher resale as well. There's quite a few players in our squad that have higher resale for now. You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day. So, but we'll have to wait and see. Play that by ear over the next few weeks and months, of course, guys. Absolutely. But, yeah, look, you know what? One thing I would say is that we can't undersell our players. We can't devalue our players. We have to sell players at the right price. The likes of Garnacho. I know a lot of people don't like Garnacho. I know that. Look, I'm disappointed in what Garnacho did. Right, but I don't think Man United should be selling these players for cheap. You know what I mean? Grayo, Sal, where, and for how long is your holiday to Italy? Hope you have a fantastic time with your Italian princess, and don't forget to send me a drawing. Already got it in the bag, Grayo. I've already packed it. I'm going to be bringing it, sending it to you, first class, signed, sealed, delivered. Stevie Wonder without the blindness. I'll be sending it to you, guys, Grayo, absolutely on as soon as I get to Italy, mate. I've got it in my packed up already. Yeah, I mean, it's for business and pleasure. But I mean, hopefully I'll get some interviews done over there whilst I'm out there, of course. But brilliant. Thank you so much, Grayo. Much love to you, brother. And thank you for all your generosity and care over this last year, mate. I really, really appreciate it. I really do. And, it's rare you get people like Grayo in life, guys. Absolutely. Sal, if we sack Amarim, do you think we will go 3-4-3 managers? I don't know. But 3-4-3 is nothing to do with 3-4-3. It's about the quality of players that we have. It's the quality of players that we have. We don't have the players that have got the IQ to play that, The only one who can play that system is Harry Maguire because he played it for England and always done well with England. You know what I mean? This is why he picked up his performances last season. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, guys. So there you go. There you go. It is an interest. It is one of them ones, one of them ones. Look, notoriously, Man United always played a 4-4-2, but Man United 3-4-3, 3-5-3, or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter. What matters was on the pitch. What players you got on the pitch, and how much effort they give, of course. Definitely, absolutely. But look, guys, you know what? What I would say is that, hopefully this is a step in the right direction in regards to Mbeumo. Mbeumo should be announced very, very soon. And here we go. Should be coming very, very soon, guys. And you know what? Then another one bites the dust, guys. And we get another player in. Finally, some players may say. Finally, we get another player in, of course. Hopefully, I'm not asleep when it happens. So I can do the match. So I can do the reaction for you guys. Absolutely. It'd be brilliant, of course, because you know what? this community, we've been waiting for this moment. We've been waiting for Mbeumo. Hopefully he's done now, and then we move on to the striker situation, of course, guys. That would be absolutely fantastic. It would be brilliant, guys. Absolutely. It would be lovely. It would be lovely, isn't it? Yeah. So Brentford accept the bid for Mbeumo, and Mbeumo should be a Manchester United player, which is fantastic. Bill, remember Rashford saying he wanted to leave and he wouldn't cause a fuss like other players in the past. Now he wants Barca and holding us to ransom. There you go, mate. Talk is cheap at the end of the day. And look, these players are all cut from the same brush, mate. They're all cut from the same wood. They're all the same, mate. Unfortunately, they only care about themselves and what they're going to get. They don't care about the football club. As I said about Manchester United DNA, none of these players have Manchester United DNA. They have Manchester United by name, but not by DNA. You have to be a certain kind of player to play for this football club. And unfortunately, a lot of these players have played for Man United who don't deserve to play for this football club. And that is just the way it is, the way the cookie crumbles. They've been given an opportunity, manipulated the fan base in regards to being humble when they're not. And, they're just generally awful people, aren't they? Ephraim. So you have to go on a holiday and have fun with your family. You deserve that. I mean, Ephraim, I'm not going on holidays as such, and I'm going to Italy with my wife. But we'll be working over there as well. I will be here. I won't be here on Friday, guys. I'll be in the air traveling, guys. Hopefully, I might do a little video here and there for you guys to get me updated. But I will be back on Saturday anyway. So, guys, no rest for the wicked. I will be back, of course. Sal. What food are you looking forward to eating in Italy, and what is your favorite Italian dish? What's your favorite dish? The favorite, but it's for you. Absolutely. Prawn linguine or garlic is a lovely, mate. Mine, I love the. I mean, if you haven't tasted Neapolitan pizza, you have, let me tell you something. You're missing out. They invented pizza, best pizza in the world. If it's my favorite dish, it's gnocchi. I like gnocchi with prawns, with shrimps, things like that. I love that. Absolutely. Can't go wrong. Beautiful. Or spaghetti bolognese without big lumps of tomato. That's what I like. You know what I mean? Spaghetti bolognese without big lumps of tomato. I don't like food with lots of bits in it, if you know what I mean. I get yogurts with no bits. That's what I do, guys. You know what I mean? I do not eat bits. I know people saying, you're a kid, Sal. What's going on? I don't eat bits in my food. I don't like bits. I don't like big lumps of tomato. I don't like big lumps of peppers. I don't like peppers either. I want Rashid to rot in the reserves for the rest of his contract. Absolutely. Cruel, to be kind. Ashford will be the subs bench at Barcelona. Yeah. I mean, I cannot see how he's going to get in the team unless it's the Copa del Rey or something along those lines. I cannot see how he's going to get in that team if I'm being totally real. Do you know what I mean? Unless he does something miraculous, he comes on the pitch, scores a few goals. He might start a couple of games, but maybe he's happy to sit on the bench. Who knows? Maybe he's just happy to be at Barcelona. Maybe. Yale. Mbeumo doing a medical at United. Yes, he is. He will be doing it very soon once it's all been confirmed. You only can do the medical after the deal has been confirmed, of course, and we're waiting for it. So the bid has been accepted, but the deal hasn't been confirmed yet. So we're waiting on the old chestnuts to announce the deal, of course, guys. So let's wait and see. Have you got a Lambretta? No, I don't, unfortunately, Bill. I don't, unfortunately. Unfortunately not. Maybe you can get me one. Mark, Billy Smart Circus are putting the last minute bid on Bremer as bearded lady position. He's become. Goodness me. You guys. Grayo, who do you think is the worst manager we have had? I had to go for Frank O'Farrell or with Wilf McInnes. Myself, favorite managers are Sir Alex Ferguson, obviously, and Tommy Docherty. Yeah. Worst managers that Man United have ever had. There's many, my mate, and there's many recently as well. I would say that one of the worst managers Man United had in my lifetime has been probably Louis van Gaal for me. I thought he was an awful manager. I've never rated Louis van Gaal in my life, unfortunately, guys. But yeah, he had a certain style of football. You know Louis van Gaal, right? When I was watching the Man United in 98, 99, Louis van Gaal was the manager of Barcelona. And I always looked at that Barcelona team and I thought they were underachieving because they had such great players. Luis Enrique, Rivaldo, as well. Sonny Anderson was in there as well, guys. Reiziger was in there. Ruhest in goal. I always felt that team underachieved. And what I would say is that I always used to say I said to myself back then, thank God that manager isn't Man United manager. I used to say that, and then lo and behold, it becomes Man United manager 20 years later. You know what I mean? Or 15 years, or 14 years, 15 years later. Ephraim, Sal, do you give a slap at Garnacho Rashford? Yes, I'm going to give a slap. Like Marcus Rashford and Garnacho, here you are.
Come closer. What is the sound of one hand clapping?
I don't know. What is the sound of what?
That's for Sancho, and that is for Garnacho, and that is for Rashford. One big slap. Pow! All of them all together, sitting there, all three of them sitting there, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what they can do?
Fuck off!
That's what they need to do, guys. Get out of here. Get out of town. That's what they need to do. Absolutely. Yes. Okasan, what's going on? Good day, Sal. Long time. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again. Is the building going? Yeah, it's going. It's very close, man. I know we're digging our heels in the ground. Well, Brentford are anyway, but yeah, it's very close. It's about to be announced, literally. I mean, I might be asleep when it's announced. You know what I mean? Over here, I might be asleep, unfortunately. Ogmigi, good up. Big up yourself, my friend. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you. Thank you, everyone who's joined me in the show today. Really appreciate it. Of course. Ineos and the Glazers out. I wish, Stephen. You know what? That would be a dream come true, mate. If we got the Glazers out and Ineos, that would be an absolute lovely state of affairs. It really would. I would love that. But you know what? I don't think it's going to happen. If I'm being totally honest and totally frank, butcher with you guys. Absolutely. I don't think the Glazers are going to leave anytime soon unless the regeneration project gets rejected, guys. That's what I would say about that. But there we are, guys. You know, it is going to be a silly season. They call it silly season for a reason, don't they? Absolutely. Grayo. Van Gaal was a nightmare. He looked like Max Headroom. Yeah, you remember him? An old Max Headroom, though. I remember his interview once where he said that the United fans are singing, Louis van Gaal's army! Louis van Gaal's army! Yeah, we remember that. No, we didn't. Louis van Gaal's army. Did anyone go to Old Trafford when Louis van Gaal was the manager of Man United? You know what? People were leaving at half time. Yeah, people don't believe. They don't believe me. They don't believe it. Victor Meldrew. He's got a season ticket at Man United, by the way. Victor Meldrew. Big up Victor Meldrew. Look, you know what? Wrong decision, wrong appointment. And this has exactly been the problem at Man United over the years. We haven't had a direction. We haven't had a direction. We're going from David Moyes to Louis van Gaal, from Louis van Gaal to Jose Mourinho to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to Ralph Ragnick to Eric Ten Hag to Ruben Amorim. Completely different managers added in between with a little bit of salt bay of Carrick and Ryan Giggs. And, madness, isn't it, at the end of the day? Like, we have no direction. Hesty, if Glazers out, United fans can celebrate like we win the Premier League. Yeah, Hesty, you know what I would say about that? It's a massive thing if the Glazers leave the football club. It's one of the biggest things to happen to this football club. It would be. I'm telling you, this would be Man United's biggest achievement, right? Since the Champions League final in 2008, if the Glazers leave. On a grand scheme of things in regards to Man United in the future, it's one of the biggest things to happen to this football club if the Glazers leave this football club. It really is. It will be a blessing to this football club. It really would be. It would be amazing if they managed to leave this football club. I'd be delighted. Finally, they've managed to leave the football club. It would be brilliant. If we get top 4 this season, we are going to party like it's 1999. Let's get Prince back alive again, guys. Absolutely. That'd be brilliant. I mean, yeah, I'll tell you a little story about Prince, guys. Let me tell you a story about Prince. Bill. I lived in Leighton in East London, right? And I left my house, right? And I was walking down the road with my brother, okay? As I was walking down the road, one of my friends was outside on the front of their house. And I said, hi, how you doing? And just right in front of the wall was a short fella. It was a short fella there. And I said, all right, mate. He goes, oh, yeah, hi. And tapped me on the back. And I said to my brother, bloody hell, that looks like Prince. Bearing in mind, this is Leighton in East London, right? That looks like Prince. And as I walked on, I thought nothing of it, right? A few weeks later, there was this story about Prince going to East London, right? The singer Prince going to East London. And I have a studio. I used to have a studio in my house, right? In the basement. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it because I would have brought him down to the studio and we would have made a couple of tunes. Do you know what I mean? We would have made a couple of tunes. It was unbelievable, you know. It was unbelievable. But if you go to Prince visits Leighton in East London, you wouldn't believe it. You won't believe it. Let me get this up for you. Let me get it up. Here we are. Look, I'm gonna play this out for you. Look, guys. Right, here it is. So look at this on The Guardian. Take me with you. Prince gets intimate in London with first of guerrilla gigs. Singer delivers up close show at Electric Ballroom for his fans. Look. Yeah, that's it. Blah, 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 blah. It's in here somewhere. If I can get it. I'll get it for you later. I'll get it. Just type in there. Type in that. It's incredible. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I couldn't believe it. Ephraim. The funniest moments of Van Gaal was when he was sleeping to the grass in what game that was. Arsenal, I think it was, wasn't it? He pretended he got hit and he fell on the grass. Brilliant, Sal. Big up, Bill. It was unbelievable. Sal, not being funny, but the way the top teams played last year, then for us to finish fourth next season, it's not unrealistic, to be honest. I stick with a few quid on it. But I don't think the league, similar story. By the way, I have a similar story with Prince. Prince was a very kind man. Prince was a very kind man. Those who know. He owed a drummer, a dancer of his, a dancer of his, basically done him a favor, and he repaid the favor. He went to East London. He went to London and Leighton, and yeah, absolutely incredible, you know. And that he was a good guy. Unfortunately, certain Mr. Diddy. Kevin, Mbeumo going to great signing. Absolutely, absolutely. Here we go. Big up Cock the Tran. Big up. It's going to be a great signing. Come on, guys. Have we got an here we go yet? Nothing at the moment yet. It's not here we go yet, guys. It's not one-time bomber yet. Big up Blazing Zal. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Blazing Zal, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're good. Good to see you again, mate. Good to see you. Hope you're good. Big up, Sal. Enjoy your time in here. Thank you, Sir Ephraim. I'll be back tomorrow for Breaking Dawn anyway, guys. So don't forget to join me for that. And don't forget to put your notifications on as well, because I will be going live if if it gets here we go or something like that with Mbeumo, guys. So have a great time. Enjoy yourself. Thank you so much for joining me today, of course. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And please don't forget to smash a like on the video if you'd be as kind. Cheers, Bill. Thank you, mate. Thank you, Grayo. You absolute legend. Thank you, mate. Absolute diamond. Guys, thank you very much. And I will see you tomorrow for Breaking Dawn if nothing else breaks, of course. I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox. Take it easy, guys. Peace.